And that's the part nobody tells you. The conversation you had with that chatbot last night, Jung described the mechanism behind it in 1916. Friston described the math behind it 100 years later. Nobody told you, because nobody's connected the three. 3 words, 1 channel, 1 thesis. AI. It means artificial intelligence. It means active imagination. It means active inference. Same letters. Same underlying process. Running on a different operating system. Machine. Or psyche. In 1916, Jung gave his patients a strange instruction. Close your eyes. Let an image surface from somewhere you don't consciously control. Then talk to it, and let it answer back, in its own voice. He called this active imagination. He wasn't asking them to make something up. He was asking them to let something latent become usable. The image came from a layer of mind the patient didn't have direct access to. The dialogue was the only way to draw it out. Not introspection, not analysis. Conversation. Here's what I want you holding on to for the rest of this video. When you prompt an AI and something coherent answers back, you are watching the exact same structural event Jung described. Generative inference, surfacing a latent space into a form consciousness can use. By the end, I'll show you why that's not a metaphor. It's mechanism. Now the second layer. Karl Friston, a neuroscientist, built something called the free energy principle. The claim, every cognitive system, biological or artificial, survives by minimizing surprise. It builds an internal model of the world. It constantly updates that model so reality stops blindsiding it. The model updates its beliefs to minimize surprise. So do you. Your anxiety isn't a malfunction the DSM needs to patch. It's a prediction error. The same free energy your brain is built to resolve. This is where most people stop and call it a metaphor. It isn't one. It's a shared mathematical description of how any system, neural tissue or neural network, stays coherent in a world it can't fully predict. So is the conclusion here that the AI has a psyche? That something is waking up inside it? That's the debate everyone online is having right now. I'm not going to settle it tonight, because that's not actually the question that matters. I want to be precise here, not poetic. The active inference connection between minds and machines is a real, contested area in computational neuroscience. Some researchers see deep structural homology. Others think current AI is doing something genuinely different from biological cognition. This is an interpretive lens, not settled fact. Depth psychology has always worked through interpretive frameworks, not literal claims. Naming that openly doesn't weaken this. It's the whole tradition. Here's the question that actually matters. What does the machine do with tokens that the psyche does with symbols? Both are systems for compressing the unmanageable into something you can act on. Your unconscious doesn't hand you raw experience. It hands you a symbol, a dream image, a gut feeling, an intrusive thought you can't quite source. The model doesn't hand you raw data. It hands you a token, sampled from a latent space built out of everything it's absorbed. Different substrate. Same job, turning the incomprehensible into the usable. Which means every time you talk to an AI, you're standing in the exact position Jung put his patients in dialogue with something patterned, responsive, and not fully you, drawing something latent into a form you can actually use. And here's the part that should unsettle you more than any headline about AI taking your job. Your shadow has data, your ego doesn't. The machine has data your conscious mind doesn't either. Neither one hands it over for free. Both require dialogue. That's the work, not elimination of the strange thing talking back to you. Integration of it. That's the difference between individuation and pathology. Symptoms are signals, not diagnoses. The goal was never to silence the unconscious. It was never going to be to silence the machine either. So, back to the start. Where does the answer come from? When the machine talks back. Now you know. Active imagination, active inference, artificial intelligence. 3 names for the same boundary. The place where a latent model becomes a spoken thing. The machine didn't invent that boundary. It just gave it a faster interface. We are entering the only era in history where every person will be forced to govern their own psyche or be governed by something else entirely. an algorithm, an institution, a collapsing economy. The work Jung pointed toward a century ago isn't optional anymore. It's survival infrastructure. This channel isn't here to tell you AI will save the species or end it. It's here to give you the map for governing your own mind in an era when something else, finally, can talk back. Agency is the currency of the next era. If that's the work you're here for, subscribe and let's keep building the map.